Yes, I was super confident after the first innings when the spinner turned up. However, jeez, didn't work out at all.
Well, Ray, forget all the optimism. We knew all along there was only one result.
Welcome, Sports Nation, to Sports DTM, the sports channel where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
Greetings, Sports DTM fans, and welcome to another episode of Sports Down the Middle, your channel of undiluted sports content. And today we're vibing with Raymond and Adrian, and the West Indies concluded their second test match against Sri Lanka, and it wasn't the result that we expected. Raymond, before I even share the scoreline, what do you feel about the result at this point?
Kurt, I'm disappointed. I mean, almost every video we start with West Indies, I say we're disappointed. But we're growing accustomed to see some West Indies, disappoint in a sense. It started well and then deteriorated quickly. I don't know.
What you expected, Adrian?
Well, Kurt, the bells are out, the presents are here, December is here, and it's Christmas. And you thought that the West Indies were in a giving mood and we're going to have a grand time entering the season. As a matter of fact, the Christmas hats are out, but I have none because I knew that there was only one result. They built up our hopes, and then, as per usual, here we are again reflecting on the disappointment.
Yes, so West Indies lost the match. So I'm going to share with you the scoreline, right? And Sri Lanka batted first. They won the toss and decided to bat. And first day was interrupted by rain, the rain that we prayed for the last day of the first test match, and it didn't happen. First day, Sri Lanka batted 204 all out. The spinner who came in, Permal, 5 for 35. Warwickon 4 for 50. At this point, as you mentioned earlier, Raymond, with such a performance, you're looking for a better result than this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, we always wanted some new spinners and some fresh blood into the West Indies. And when you saw Permal doing what he was doing at Warwickon, we were saying that, yeah, we now have spinners. Now we can switch up the bowling attack and almost put any team on the back foot, but that wasn't to be. I thought this was the beginning of a new era of spinners and West Indies, showing that they're revitalized in a sense. Oh, jeez.
And then, Adrian, when the West Indies turned to bat, they started pretty well. Captain Brathwaite, 72. Blackwood, the newly promoted opener, 44. We thought that, hey, this looks like West Indies going to take it.
Yes, Kurt, there was an air of excitement towards the end of the first innings. But we saw the collapse of the team. I mean, we saw the captain, Craig Brathwaite, doing really well with his knock of 72. Blackwood came to the party, and Krumah Bonner, as usual, was there and thereabout. But at the end of that first innings, there was a usual West Indies collapse. We didn't get any meaningful contribution from the other players, whether it was the Shea Hope or even Jason Nola. Ruston Chase has been a passenger right along. Very disappointing. And that carried over into the second inning. So if you notice, the score at 3:45 for 9 declared pretty much eat away at any advantage that the West Indies would have had. Permal again did himself well, taking 3 wickets on a very spin-friendly pitch. But we were back against it again at the back end. And in the second innings, Bonner did well again. Blackwood did well again. And then there was a monumental collapse with the rest of batsmen falling meagerly at 132. Just add 44 and 35, you're looking at about 80 out of the 132. So it tells a story. At the end of these innings, we were unable to do well, whether it's bowling or batting. And that's a sad situation for the West Indies.
I see you went ahead of me. But Raymond,
we know what the likely result was going to be.
When Sri Lanka batted second and they were 73 for 3 or 39 for 2, we were looking at, and West Indies leading by 40 something runs, that's what, 49 runs on first innings. We were still harboring the hopes that they will be able to pull it off, especially based on how Sri Lanka batted in the first innings. Where did it went wrong for the West Indies in this Sri Lanka second innings?
Well, for me, Curtis, it's pretty much not being consistent and not executing as properly. The bowlers do as best as they could. The batsmen needed to show up, definitely. It was hard to expect the bowlers to actually maintain the first innings run a spell. It was very hard to expect that. So at some point, as batsmen, you had to actually show up and stay consistent. I'm not really showing words on I say a Brathwaite or Blackwood because they actually showed up on first innings. But you have some persons who, as Adrian said, are passengers and they needed to show up. So consistency for me, batsmen not doing what they're needing to do to help alleviate some of the pressure from the bowlers.
Adrian, looking at Sri Lanka's second innings and the way they got away, and particularly the silver with 155 batting way down the order. I mean, where did we went wrong in this Sri Lanka second innings?
Well, we went, I don't know if we can say we went wrong anywhere, rather than we just didn't have the ammunition. So, I mean, the spin bowlers did very well in the first innings, but we couldn't expect that to have been repeated. I mean, we just don't have the type of quality to restrict opponents under 300 runs. And this needed to have been another 250 or less runs, right? So as well as Pramal is bowling, they can't beat him because he has 8 for 141. Where's the support? I mean, the other spinner would have been Warkan. He didn't show up as much in the second innings. With our fast bowler, Kemar Roach. We can't even see him number being displayed here in terms of how much he made. And the other bowler, part-time bowlers, are really Chase. Jason Holler is a medium, right? So you don't have the quality. If you have these spinners as your main go-to persons to spin, you're not going to restrict people for under 250 runs thereabout. So the Chase got away from us, right? Then of course we just could not recover. I mean, there was no way we were gonna make 279 runs on the final day unless you had batsmen who were intentional. So for us to get there, you had to have a Blackwood stepping up, batting right through the innings at a fast pace, because otherwise it's a dead
before
stop.
you got to the final day, and I heard you mention Kemar Roach, and Roach came in for Cornwall.
No, he came in for Gabriel.
For Gabriel, rather. Roach had little or no impact on the game. And in our previous review, we spoke about our question why Roach came in, considering that they knew it was a spinner-friendly pitch. And we saw that even in the second inning, West Indies bowled about 50 overs before Roach even get an opportunity to bowl, and you selected him specifically as a front end fast bowler. is that one of the area that we went wrong in terms of selecting the team that should have been playing in this match?
Well, that's for me.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Well, so the team selection was wrong from the start. I don't know why Cornwall would not have played again, but some people tell you that Pramal came in and he did well. Warkan also did well in the first innings, but we knew that they couldn't keep up the pace. Having said that, I don't know at this point in time whether Kemar Roach or Shannon Gabriel gives you a lot, especially the fact that these pitches are not friendly for fast bowlers. So you have to be really on your pace in terms of dropping the ball in the right era, because once you bowl anything short, it's going to take really slow to come onto the batsman, give them time, and they're going to put you away, right? So nothing special about these bowlers, and as such, you're going to show up. So to your point, you may have had to play 3 spinners, but the question is, are we really at the stage whereby 3 spinners, where a team that can use 3 spinners actually get wicket? I'm not so sure about that. But I definitely would not have left out Cornwall because he offers substance both with the ball as well as with the bat, right? So even when some of the batsmen were failing, he made at least a 30-odd runs, right? So I'd have more drop out. For example, if you wanted to bring in Pramal, I'd have drop out a Warkan and leave Cornwall. And that's to show what's going on with that switch with Gabriel and Roach. Unless somebody saying for both of them, injury prone, it's load management.
Well, Gabriel wasn't impactful in the first match at all. But Raymond, looking at how Roach performed in this particular match, he bowled 14 overs total for the whole match, 6 in the first innings and 8 in the second innings. I hear Adrian talking about leaving out another spinner. Wouldn't it be a bolder move? Let us be brave and select the additional spinner. Leave out Roach because we know for a fact that it's a spinner's wicket. Just leave out Roach and keep Cornwall. What do you think?
It's funny you say that because I actually fully agree with that. Roach should probably have been left out, and you keep Cornwall. And to Adrian's point of Cornwall adding more with the bat, he could have been like the silver for us. You know, that back end, you see some runs get piled on because of Cornwall. But it's a spin friendly pitch, and as much spin as possible you could have used. And we have some medium pacers there. So if you want to really switch up the attack, persons were there already. So I don't see the need for Roach at all.
And then come final day, Adrian, Sri Lanka was still batting and they declared a 345 for 9, leaving the West Indies 297 to win on final day. It was gettable, wasn't it?
It was gettable, and the approach to get it was going pretty reasonably well. I mean, West Indies were trying to work their way until probably the final session to see how close they were to it, to see if it's something that they can go after. But again, Nkrumah, but it didn't help, or that the captain Brathwaite got out earlier. Or probably it helped because then Bonner and Blackwood had a very good partnership. We saw Bonner Mr. Consistent getting 44 runs, holding his own very well. We saw Blackwood with 36. But once those two went out, it was all curtain. The Windies couldn't even hold on for a draw, right? They were probably looking all over for rain, no rain, right? And the players just slipped away. It's like they were on ices, and you saw Hope going, no hope. You saw Chase, couldn't chase the score, and Holder seems to still be smarting from the losses over there at the T20 World Cup, and the entire team was just out of sorts, out for a paltry 132 runs. Acceptable, But this is unacceptable, rather. But this is what the West Indies, we have come to learn. West Indies, build up your hopes on day 1 and 2, and then come tumbling down nicely. Only one result, unfortunate, and they have to get it together pretty soon.
Raymond, I hear that. And I heard Adrian talking about the very good partnership between Bonner and Blackwood. That was about 50 runs or thereabout. But in my mind, I think they were playing for a draw from the get-go, Adrian. They were batting very, very slow. And that always just leads to what the end result is. Let us be positive. We were chasing 297 of more than 50 overs. We could have turned it into a one day. What we had to lose
Singles
and to go out there and challenge it, turn it into a one day match, chase it down. But we saw 132 all out. Bonner 44, Blackwood 36, Hope 16, and the only other player in double figure, Kemar Roach, batting at number 11, and his contribution 13 runs. Where did we lose it in totality?
Well, you're right. We could have actually gone for it because it's that score of 279 was gettable. It's almost one day cricket kind of score. So I don't see why they didn't try for it. But immediately when it started, as you said, they started to seem like they were playing for a draw. However, I don't know how you play for a draw and bat slow and hold wicket with that kind of play. I mean, in a sense, it's almost anti-cricket. And you still get out. So I don't get what the sense of that. You understand? You still get out and leave other persons with less chance because other persons, further along cannot hold the wicket. So I didn't understand that. You should at least give yourself time then, and not so much ball your face. Give yourself time so you know that by whatever time of the day, you should be still batting. So even that was like a failed attempt at drawing the game. It's only the rain thing, the elephant man rain business alone, and that was never up on the card. So guess what? Beatings.
Sri Lanka winning this match by 164 runs. Another domination by Sri Lanka. Something that we didn't expect considering how we started the match, Adrian.
I don't know about not expect. I mean, this is the West Indies, so I mean, you're trying not to build up your hopes too much. You're hopeful that they will come good to the party, but this is a team that lacks the type of quality to get us there. The batting averages, as we said earlier on in the tour, are pretty low. The captain in his low 30s is probably leading batsman. We don't have world-class spinners or pacers in there. Jason Holder, though, top all-rounder worldwide. He's in the team, but just didn't show up at this particular level. And of course, we have reasonably good open batsman in Nkrumah Bonner. But apart from that, the team has a lot of work to do, a lot of gaps to fill. And it is hoped that a player such as Pramal, believe it or not, with his performance, get a more extended run. It's a kind of long time, and he's showing up his hand and saying, "Hey, give me an opportunity." So, yeah, this is the West Indies.
There you have it, Sports DTM fans. Another episode of Sports Down the Middle. The West Indies went to Sri Lanka to conquer, but didn't. They lost the Test series by 2-0 and on to the next. What the future holds for this team, nobody knows, but we certainly know that they need to improve in order to increase their chances of winning anything and helping us to have the representation of this, and Merry Christmas. So on that note, from Sports DTM, we want to wish all our viewers a happy and holy season. Be safe out there, and always remember to like, to share, and to subscribe, and to tell your friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell all of them friends to come and join the Sports DTM family. This has been another episode of Sports Down the Middle. Be blessed.